It's just the adrenaline rush.
Now on Xtreme Paintball, Beyond the Paint.
Let's go!
It's taken me around the world. I have the luxury of being able to work in the industry and play as well.
This season, Xtreme Paintball Beyond the Paint has brought together some of the personalities and passions behind one of the most thrilling young sports today. Pros that play for the mutual respect that is shared among the league's premier players.
The biggest thing I think I play for is respect. The people that I really respect are the guys I compete against.
Paintball's veteran ambassador, Rich Telford.
Man, he's a warrior. You know, he's definitely a guy that you can count on, that you can rely on. It's going to be there in the end.
He's probably one of the most decorated team captains throughout the years.
He's hilarious, funny guy, intense and crazy.
Look, man, don't be a superstar.
Oh, listen.
No.
San Diego surfer and one of Team Dynasty's MVPs, Ryan Greenspan.
I think he's super consistent. He's a guy that's always there, you know, when you need him to be there.
You know, he's a phenomenon.
Always stays alive, always kills people, always pulls off big moves, always wins games. It's sick.
Paintball gear designer, Travis Lemansky.
Travis is a great consistent player.
You can always count on Travis to go out and do his job.
The league's bad boy, Chris Lasoya.
He is spectacular with fans and with kids.
I think he's unpredictable. You know, he's got great hair.
That guy can make moves. He'd have the perfect time and he'd run 3 or 4 guys. And you'd just be like, wow, that guy just single-handedly destroyed that team.
Team Dynasty's eccentric superstar, Alex Frazier.
Everybody, I think, likes Alex.
Fresh Shakes is probably one of the smartest guys out there.
He understands paintball at a very different level than most of us.
Swedish model, Alex Lundqvist.
Alex, definitely the second best looking guy in paintball.
Promotes the sport, he promotes the sponsors.
Alex is one of those guys that can play in the back and then insert into the middle and then end up in the front and finish a game.
Canada's golden boy, Josh Davey.
Josh Davey's only been around for a few years. Fast, smart, aggressive, a real good, well-balanced player.
He's very versatile, can go anywhere.
And the consummate outdoorsman from Maryland, J.C. Whittington.
J.C. Whittington is always someone you have to watch out for out there in the team.
He's definitely a very consistent guy that's underrated, that, you know, I think a good weapon to have on your side.
These are only a few of the sport's most amazing athletes who've gathered to reveal their enthusiasm for the top extreme sport in the nation. On our last installment, Edmonton Impact came out with a strong start and demolished Chicago Farside, eliminating all of Farside's players while losing none of their own. A safely captured flag, and that made for a perfect 100 score. The hard work and dedication shown by Josh Davey and his Edmonton team back home in Canada would pay off again in a big way, as Impact executed yet another perfect game against Pittsburgh All-American, controlling the tempo of the game early, dominating field positions in the red zone, and never losing a body as they played as close to perfect paintball as you can play. Today, we're off to Chicago to find out why one of the sport's best all-around athletes turned down the promise of fame that comes from playing traditional sports to become a pro paintball player.
I come from a great family. I was brought up really well. You know, my parents, I owe them everything, you know, and definitely they were responsible for allowing me to play paintball. I mean, I think it devastated my mom in the beginning because, you know, I was playing basketball, baseball, and football, and it was one of those things to where I told my mom one day, I was like, you know, I'd give it all up to play paintball full time, and I think it crushed her.
Coming up, LB Fowl works out the kinks in a long-distance relationship with his teammates. Plus, he and the rest of LA Infamous take on Portland Naughty Dogs in the first NPPL matchup of the day, when Xtreme Paintball Beyond the Paint continues on FSN.
The boys are upstairs. See you later.
You got something you need to do? We got the energy to do it. Mad Croc, energy gum, chews, and drinks.
The Spider Classic Series. The Spider VS Series. The Spider MR Series. Celebrating 15 years of performance, reliability, and design. View these products and more by visiting us online at spider.tv.
You got something you need to do? We got the energy to do it. Mad Croc, energy gum, chews, and drinks.
FSN's coverage of Xtreme Paintball, Beyond the Paint, is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. By Empire, it's what we do. And by Viewloader, feed your need. The life of a pro paintball star takes on many different forms. But for LA Infamous team captain LB Fowl, his has become a life consumed by the sport, both on the field and in the front office. So how does a Chicago corporate man handle a Southern California-based team schedule?
I do have the luxury of jumping on an airplane on most Friday nights because I do live in Chicago, and the team is based out of Southern California. You know, 80% of our guys are there. So it just, you know, it makes sense to practice in Southern California. You know, there's great teams to play there. We have a local field that we kind of play at all the time. For me to go to practice, I could get on a plane, fly 5 hours one way, practice for about 32, 36 hours, and then fly 5 hours back, go to work. I fly out of Chicago here, so I get delayed almost every single time. It's a good hour, hour and a half, and fly for 5 hours, land in San Diego about 10:30, 11. One of the guys picks me up, play first thing in the morning all day Saturday, play all day Sunday. We have 4 weekends in between an event. We try to play at least 2 of those, sometimes 3. Then I get to get on the red eye at about 10:30 p.m. on Sunday night, fly all night to land at about 5 in the morning back in Chicago, and it's a price you pay when you live away from the team, but it is what it is.
For our first NPPL Pro match of the day, LB Fowl and LA Infamous take on San Diego Dynasty. These two top teams will face off on the same bunker scheme they've been practicing back home. Each side of the field mirrors itself with strategically placed bunkers you'll hear referred to as the cans across the back part of the field. The 2 car washes, the pyramid-shaped bunkers known as Doritos, and the snake that's used heavily in the red zone. Each team of 7 will have developed a calculated game plan to maneuver through the series of bunkers, trying to eliminate as many of the opposing team's players as possible as they try to capture their flag. Now let's go to Rich Telford, one of the most experienced players in the sport, for the call of the game.
All right, here we go. 2 big powerhouse teams with Dynasty on the right and Infamous on the left. This should be a great game. These are 2 of the highest ranked teams in the professional league. Both teams like to make heavy guns out of the break. Infamous goes 7 across the back, shooting their guns, and the fast bump to Dorito 1. Dynasty with a similar breakout. Oh, there goes Todd Martinez getting shot out of the back center lipstick. That's 1 loss for Dynasty, no losses for Infamous. So Infamous got a little bit of advantage. They second that advantage by moving Kevin Callie Rudolph into the snake there. Angel's actually in snake 2 though, so obviously got a little bit more territory on him. Dynasty's down 1 player, both teams, but Angel's just going up that snake. He's already in the center 50, taking a lot more territory early on than Infamous is. Looks like a Dynasty player there in Dorito 2 looking across the field. Dorito 1. There's Travis Romansky shooting the 1 ball a second. You know, those guns shoot a little faster. Oh, another Dynasty player walks away. So Dynasty is down 2 players now, giving the advantage to Infamous. Even though Angel is up in that 50 snake, they're down on bodies, and unless they can get up on the other side of the field, that forward position isn't going to help them as much as it should. Oh, there goes Travis trying to hide that shoulder hit, but the ref all the way across the field sees it. Be interesting to see if he gets a 1-for-1 or not on that. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like they pull anyone. Wow, Angel went all the way into their end of the snake. He's an Infamous snake now, and John missed them going across from the second notch to the third notch. That's Alex trying to make a big move in Dorito 3, but gets caught by Cali out of snake. Looks down at his leg as he walks out. You can see, oh, there's Brian Cole filling from the back snake bunker into the snake, and that's a great move. Brian Cole's one of the few back players that can fill into that snake and play just as good as any other snake player out there. That's LB Foul there in the snake corner, shooting his gun, loading up. Oh, and there goes that player of that short can. Should have got it. Oh, there goes LB to make a big move. Wise going, okay, he went all the way into the center 50, and I think he got Angel out. Ideally, what he wanted to have happen there is he wanted Angel to be looking down the line so that when he made that move to the center 50, he could shoot Angel out and stay alive. At the same time he walks out, John Richardson is walking out of the car wash, leaving poor little Cali there, and Snake 1 all by himself against 3 Dynasty players. So it's going to be a short game here for the guy in Snake. Momentarily, one of the Dynasty guys is either going to shoot him or they're going to run down the field and bunker him off the field. Infamous was actually playing a pretty good game there. They were in pretty good control. The only thing they didn't have was the snake presence that Dynasty had. They were able to neutralize. Okay, there he goes. He's been eliminated out. The key to that game really was the fact that Dynasty controlled the snake from the very beginning, and Infamous was never able to get down the Dorito side of the field. It's okay that the other team controls a key bunker like the snake if you can counter that by going up the other tape. But if you can't get in the snake, then you definitely have to get in the other side of the field. And if you can't do that, you're kind of conceding that game. So although Dynasty didn't play as well as they usually did, they finished off strong because of their snake presence. There goes Davey Williamson running the flag back.
When Xtreme Paintball Beyond the Paint continues, LA Infamous team captain LB Foul has turned his experience as a top pro into success in the corporate world. Next on FSN.
In 2005, monster balls were created, dominating the competition. Through modern science and technology, monster balls have evolved. A more accurate shell designed for deadly accuracy terrorizes in all weather conditions. Thicker and brighter for maximum mockability. Monster balls, the world's best-selling paintballs, just got better.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
Spider Classic Series. Spider VS Series. Spider MR Series. Celebrating 15 years of performance, reliability, and design. View these products and more by visiting us online at spider.tv.
Welcome back to Xtreme Paintball
Beyond the Paint
on FSN. NPPL Pro Paintball takes all of the inherent excitement of the sport to a whole new level. From quick athleticism to complex strategic planning, those who have made it to this level have evolved the sport into an electrifying phenomenon. But their success still hinges on the effectiveness of their gear. Los Angeles Infamous standout LB Foul has dedicated his life to the advancement of the sport and its equipment, both on and off the playing field.
I work for Key Action Sports, which is probably the largest manufacturer distributor in the paintball industry. I am the key account manager there. I handle a lot of our larger accounts that we have deals in place with them. I mainly monitor those accounts, work on smaller projects that we have. A typical day in the office with me, man, is definitely a lot of phone calls, and the majority of my accounts are in the California area on the West Coast. So lately we've been doing conference calls left and right. Ton of emails a day, man. I probably get 50, 60 emails a day. Try and touch base with customers physically as much as possible. We do have a couple larger accounts in the area that I do see on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. Go to their facility and sit down with them, try and come up with new ideas to try and expand business or increase their product line to where we make them more profitable. You know, so I think that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what I do. I mean, I have the luxury of being able to work in the industry and play as well. I mean, I work for some good people that understand that you need to have, you know, direct involvement within the sport and have people in your base that have their finger on the pulse and know what's going on in paintball, and it's what we do. So, you know, we kind of have a good feeling for what's going on in the industry.
Now, let's get back to the NPPL center stage, where LB and LA Infamous look for their first win of the day against Portland Naughty Dogs.
All right, getting ready for the next game. We have the Portland Naughty Dogs on the left versus LA Infamous on the right. The Naughty Dogs are led by team captain Rocky Knuth. Infamous on the right-hand side, being led by John Richardson, Travis Lemansky, LB Fowl. Wow, Naughty Dogs take the snake out of the break. That's a huge move. At the same time, Cali gets shot out of the break, so Naughty Dogs take the snake out of the break as Infamous loses the player out of the break. That's a big swing. It looks like Travis might have been shot in his pack on the way out there. It's a real common for people to shoot. Yeah, he's definitely got a hit on his pack there. It's real common for the players to try. Oh, he takes another one in front of the hopper. Travis is now gone. It's real common for a team to try to shoot out the snake corner out of the break because that really helps. Mark Nelson bumps up to the temple. Wow, Infamous has got 3 guys walking out the field at the same time. It's going to be really, really hard for Infamous to win this game at this point. Naughty Dogs have 7 players alive. They control all the territory, and they've got a 3-player advantage. This is really a bad game for Infamous. It's going to be really challenging for them to pull this off. The only chance they have is to sit back on their heels, shoot out a couple key guys. Here goes Mark Nelson trying to make that big move to center 50, and he gets shot out. That's going to help him out. Now we've got 4 on 6, but at the same time, Brandon Laverson makes that move into the snake, and it looks like he got caught going in there. Yeah, he did. So Infamous is down to 3 players now against the Naughty Dogs having 6 players, and the Naughty Dogs just have all the territory. There's Hector moving out of the corner into the snake. At the same time, Infamous moves into the counter Dorito. At this point, the Naughty Dogs have all the territory. They've got 6 players alive. Infamous has only got 3 players alive. They've got a huge numerical advantage, and they've got advantage on the territory they're in the field. You see John filling after that short can and getting shot out. Now Infamous is down to 2 players, I think. Just the guy in the Dorito in the corner. The Naughty Dog player comes up, pressing across the field to try to get that cross shot on the guy in there in the Dorito. You can see the Infamous player in the back lipstick trying to battle both ways, but in a real bad spot. There goes the Infamous player, and that's pretty much game over for the Infamous. Naughty Dog just running down the field, making sure there's no one that they missed. People usually try to shoot their guns at the end of the game just to make sure there's no one coming up on the top of the bunker, and it looks like they got them all. Chris Dawsey grabbing the flag, looking to run it back for the win. There's Travis. You can tell he's just heartbroken. I mean, there's nothing he can do in a game like that. You run to that corner, you lose 3 guys out of the break, and you're just trapped out there, especially when you get shot in the pack out of the break. The referees took a little while to pull him, but once they did, he walked it in, and Naughty Dogs with what seemed to be an easy victory against a strong team in LA Infamous.
Up next, we take a ride with LB Fowl on a tour of his hometown of Chicago when Xtreme Paintball Beyond the Paint continues on FSN.
For years, Jeff Orr worked side by side with his father, Bud Orr, to develop and innovate some of the best paintball markers the world has ever seen.
I'm Jeff Orr. I spent my life making some of the sickest paintball guns on the planet. My latest creations are the Autococker SR and my very own Signature Series.
Each Jeff Orr Signature Series Autococker is designed, custom fitted and machined by Jeff at the War Games facility in Southern California. Every month, Jeff creates a new run of limited edition custom fitted autocockers and pump markers. Autococker, when accuracy counts.
FSN's coverage of Xtreme Paintball, Beyond the Paint, is brought to you by Mad Croc, Energy Gum, Fruit Chews, and Drinks. It's what you need. By X-Ball Paintballs, found at fine retailers everywhere. And by Spider, passion for paintball. Let's go! So far today, we've seen one of the top-rated teams in the league, LA Infamous, take it on the chin from their first two opponents, losing to San Diego Dynasty and then to Portland Naughty Dogs. LB Fowl and his team are now getting set for a much-needed win against Edmonton Impact. We recently hung out with LB in his hometown of Chicago to get a taste of his life off the field and away from the office.
I love the city. There's so much to do. It's a super huge city. So you've been to Carnival?
Yes.
All right. And you haven't?
I have not.
All right, we're going there. There's different neighborhoods. I mean, there's Little Italy to Greek Town to Chinatown. There's a ton of stuff to do. If I do have the luxury of being in the city of Chicago for a weekend that I'm not playing paintball and I'm not traveling, you know, Lake Michigan's got a couple beach bars and the lake is a great place to hang out and just kick it. Chicago is just full of restaurants and bars and things to do here, man. I mean, it's a huge city. There's two professional baseball teams, you know, the Bulls are right behind us here, and it's a fun town to live in, man. I mean, if you haven't had the chance, you should check it out.
Now, for our final game of the day, Los Angeles Infamous is set to take on Josh Davey and a strong Edmonton Impact team. These guys are playing the same NPPL bunker scheme they've been practicing in preparation for today's event. The first to battle their way into the red zone will most likely have the advantage on position, which should make the difference in the outcome of the match. Let's go once more to Rich Telford for the call.
Both these teams are playing really aggressively and real consistently, so Impact's looking to break out. Both these teams break out pretty conservatively. Neither one of them look to take too much territory out of the break. Both teams are good breakouts. Look like Infamous lost one out of the break, and Edmonton lost one or two players out of the break. Now that center temple is a real key spot for Infamous. They look to go from there into Snake 2 if at all possible. You can see the back center looking to shut that move down, though. You see the lines of paint going between him and the next bunker. Okay, Infamous is in the Snake first, obviously giving them a little bit of an advantage. Came from that short can. Okay, Edmonton filled out that corner that they lost out of the break. That was a great move. And they also filled Snake 1. It's 5-on-7 right now, with obviously Infamous having a big advantage with two extra bodies. Boom, there goes that Snake move. He went from that center temple to Snake 2. That's a great move. As soon as that back center got off of that lane just for a second, he shot his way across there. Edmonton fills Dorito 1. That's a good move for them. Uh-oh, looks like Edmonton just lost another player while they're down 3 bodies already. Obviously, Edmonton's in a kind of a bad spot here. Edmonton's in a defensive posture here. All they're looking to do is kind of zone the field up a little bit. Oh, wow, Snake player eliminated. That's a big loss for Edmonton. That's going to be really tough for them. Now they've got 2 guys on one tape, 1 guy on the other tape, and they're really kind of isolated. You see Brandon Lamerson from LA there, great player, moving up to 50 Snake. He's a real impact player, smart, fast on his feet. At the same time, Infamous moves up the other tape into the big Dorito. That's another great move. Like I said, if they can get up both of those tapes, it's going to be really tough for Impact to kind of hold them off. 3-on-6 now. Here goes Callie. Now, Callie makes a good move inside to that center 50. Goes forward. He's got a good position. No one saw him make that move, so, you know, they're not knowing that he's there. He might be able to sneak a shot in on somebody. That Snake corner player for Edmonton's really battling. He's battling down the line. He's looking inside at the Dorito. He's going back and forth. He's fighting the fight. Infamous player walking off the back line there, so that's 5-on-3 now. Maybe Impact has a chance. Maybe they can get back in this game. Now Brandon has moved down to the Impact side of Snake, which I think he should have done earlier, but better late than never. He's going to get another bounce. Wow, that guy's getting a lot of bounces. It's important to take care of your paint, keep it nice and cool and brittle before the games. Callie's in that center 50 still, just kind of shooting at that corner. Can't really go forward, can't really shoot anybody, but, you know, he's drawing some paint. People worried about him. Uh-oh, Edmonton loses that player out of the Dorito. That's real bad. Josh Davey filled back from the car wash into the back corner, which is good. I mean, it's going to help him cross up that field, but all they can do is sit there, cross it up, which means, you know, both of them looking inside and try to get back in that game. Josh Davey, in my opinion, is making a real bad move here. I mean, making that move is basically throwing the game away. Sitting back there on their heels with very little time left in the game, they could have brought this game to a stalemate, forced Infamous to run forward. Wow, the other Impact player doing the same thing. They kind of just threw that game away. Obviously, Infamous had the advantage, but the only chance Impact had was to sit there, hold them off, get a couple more G's, and get back in that game. Travis Lemansky there pulling the flag. They're telling him to hustle it back, but he's not going to run. I mean, come on, man. He's been working too hard out there. He hands flag off to LB. Look at that athleticism. Good game. Infamous strong finish. Real quick recap of that game. There wasn't one definitive move that won or lost that game for Impact, but Infamous started off strong. They shot 2 guys out of the break. They took all the spots. They were really, really slow and methodical, much more slow and methodical than they usually are. They finally pushed down the field. In the end, Impact kind of gave Infamous the game by running into their guns. It was 5-on-2. I think they could have whittled it down a little bit, but they ran forward, got shot up, and lost the game.
We lost too many guys off the break, and we just tried to battle back, and we held them off for a good while, but just couldn't come out with the win. When it comes down to it, stalemates don't really help you, so you might as well go for it, and that's what we tried.
Coming up on the next Xtreme Paintball, Beyond the Paint, Maryland farm boy J.C. Whittington takes us on a whirlwind tour of his family plantation. Plus, we'll see what a paintball sharpshooter does when not shooting paint.
Made a little bit of money, lost a lot of friends, missed a lot of weddings. But it's been a good time, man. Good ride. Haven't worked in 7 years, 8 years.
It's all right here on FSN.